Arena for Game 2 between UMD and Alaska Fairbanks. Scoreless in the second until Kyle Gaffney finds a loose puck in the slot and pushes it past Clayton Knapp. The Canucks grab the lead at 1-0, and it would stay that way until a minute left in the game. Captain Dominic James puts the team on his back and feeds Blake You Betcha Betchin, who wires one home. The freshman ties us up at 1 and forces overtime. In that extra period, slick move by defenseman Broden Sabo. He finds some open ice and breaks the heart of Bulldogs fans. Alaska Fairbanks picks up the extra point as they take down the Bulldogs 2-1 in overtime, and UMD remains at AMSOIL Arena next weekend for a conference series against St. Cloud State.